this paper. Here we go. So this is Truth, the Rule or Aim of Assertion by Neri Marsili, who I've read multiple times in the past. I may have even read his stuff twice, I forget. In the same paper twice, in Episteme, but it was a long time ago. So, yeah. Here we go, and as always, feel free to ask questions along the way. It's my first time reading it too, and then we get to review it at the end. And I'll get my review site up soon, for better or worse. Maybe it won't look that great, but I'll get it up. Okay, so here we are. Rules versus aims. Is the rule or is truth the rule or the aim of assertion? If truth is the rule of assertion, one should only assert what is true, so that every false assertion constitutes a violation of the rule that governs assertion. Of course, I have to stop reading immediately. If truth is instead the aim of assertion, let's see, wait, is this loud? If truth is instead the aim of assertion, and making an assertion one only purports to be trying to say something true, false assertions are therefore suboptimal since they fail to meet their purported aim, but they are not ipso facto in violation of a linguistic or epistemic norm. So if you're so this is setting it up so like, okay, you have a rule that governs your speech that says say only the true things, versus the aim where you're trying to say true things, but you don't always know. So this has a little bit more doubt in it. Okay, each view has prominent defenders. The former of these two hypotheses is supported by the proponent of the truth rule of assertion, according to which one should only assert what is true. All these people here. And by proponents of the knowledge rule of assertion, according to which one should assert only what one knows. The rival thesis that truth is the aim of assertion rather than its rule is perhaps less popular, has been defended by Dummett, Williams, and Marsili. Let us call factive accounts the family of views that take truth to be a rule of assertion, including the knowledge rule, and the truth aim accounts the family of views that take truth to be the aim of assertion. Okay, so we've got this factive, so you should only be talking about facts. This is what factive basically comes down to. Gets thrown around in philosophy. I'm actually working with it a little bit at the moment. But if it's a factive, that means all we should be talking about are facts when we're talking about true or false things. Like, so I can say, go get the milk. That's a command. That's not true or false. It's a command. But if I'm saying the milk is in the fridge, that's a fact. I should only be saying things that are true. I shouldn't say the milk is outside when the milk is actually in the fridge. Tyndare says, just reminds me of some weird conversation with some people like, only my reality is the reality and there is the capital T truth and so on. Yeah, you're going to have some of those. Like, you're going to find weird solipsism out there. Like, oh, well, only my subjective reality counts. It's like, really? Let me punch you in the face. Then my subjective reality just impinged on your subjective reality. It's kind of one of these... It works until, what's the quote from Mike Tyson? Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. It's like, yeah, then you have to, the world pushes back. So, and then there's like capital T truth. It's like, really? You know the truth the way the world is? But anyway, I just wanted to bring up, like, if you see factive or like factivity sometimes, it means you're dealing with the facts that are true or false. And then the truth aim accounts is the family of views access. It means you're trying to get to the facts, but you don't, no guarantee. Okay, that's more of like a norm. You're trying to like get yourself towards things, but you're not only talking about true or false things, but you're trying to get yourself there. Yeah. So far, eek. Tyndare says also it's fun when people complain about truth theories. I think it's valid even when it just keeps you thinking from a different angle. Yeah, I mean, this is like why a lot of philosophy happens at all, is because people like talking about truth and they argue their little truth theories back and forth, and sometimes something cool comes out of it, sometimes it doesn't, but it's a good topic. Like, why not talk about the truth? I mean, this is why there's like a fight in between analytic and continentals, because like, continentals are like, well, what is reality? What is being? What is truth? Like, what is actually going on in this world? Versus the analytics are like, well, we can define truth as a, as we were saying earlier, transparent, where saying is true, the predicate actually adds nothing. And so it does nothing outside of a few very special circumstances which can be explained away. Like, okay, that's your logical account of truth, and it's just transparent and does nothing versus the way the whole world actually is. Like, whatevers. But yeah, so you can have discussions. Okay, so far these two families of views have coexisted peacefully. I actually like. Can I just be like doubt? I don't think any of this shit's peaceful. People have big fights over like what the world is. I remember when I was an undergrad, I was like, I don't like Kant. I never liked Kant, and there was a big Kant scholar there, and he was like, so you're one of those people that just thinks all these things we're talking about are pseudo problems. I was like, not exactly, but yeah. And I was like, yeah, I was like, because you know, at the first week of classes, you could like sit in on some classes and see if you like them. So I went in, I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back. He was like, you just think it's all fake? I'm like, yeah, it's all fake. Like, yeah. I don't know if it's peaceful. Like, it's not that peaceful. Semiotics. Yeah, sorry, everything's been broken today, Semiotics, but thank you for the 35 months, G-bus. Hey, sorry I got into metapolitics, meta-democracy, meta. Yeah, well, if you're having fun over with Ivan, have fun over with Ivan. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Of course, everything is broken today. Like, everything was broken. Like, the stream was, like, legit broken when I loaded up today. So, I'll try to reload the bot, but I have no guarantees anything is working. Like, the mic wasn't working when I started streaming earlier. Yeah, basically, it is how it is, and we just try to get our little minds around it. That's kind of the position of the analytic philosophers, is like, look, here's what we can do technically, and like, if you have a better technical solution to it, then like, we'll take a look. Like, please tell us. But like, this is the best we can do that in a rigorous like analytic setting. The continentals are like, well, you're not talking about anything. It says, well, this is the best we can do, like, formally. It's like, well, yeah, we get that. But we still want to be like, well, we can still talk about, like, the world and stuff. So it's like, how our little minds do it, it's like, well, there's different strategies here. But the idea that we can't talk about the world seems like, well, what else? Why would we, like, why not? Like, of course we can talk about stuff. Like, it's fun. Let's go talk about it. All right. So I'm not sure if things that coexist peacefully, yeah, they don't. But this person thinks so. I disagree. But that's a sociological problem. All right, proponents of factive accounts have not been interested in proving that truth aim views were incorrect, nor vice versa. In a recent article, however, I offered an argument that attempts to establish that truth is the aim rather than the rule of assertion. Neri has since objected that argument for truth aim accounts are ineffective and that factive accounts are in a better position to explain assertion's relation with truth. This paper assesses the positive case in favor of truth aim accounts and argues that Neri's objections fail to undermine the existing support for truth aim views. Although the debate is far from being settled, we currently have solid reasons to think that truth is the aim rather than rule of assertion. The ludic theory of truth, which proposition is the most fun? Oh, okay. I've heard that. Is that like something like, I don't, what is the ludic theory? Like, I feel like I've heard that phrase before. Is that a paper? Is that a topic? I don't know. Okay. Yeah. You're joking, not a real thing? I think it's a real thing. I've heard the ludic theory of something or other. Maybe it was a joke. Yeah. Maybe someone was like joking. It's possible. All right. So do I even care about like this? Like, what is the issue here? The idea is that like, all right, we're just aiming at the truth. We may not like, it's like an error theory. Like we're trying to talk about the truth versus we're saying no when we're talking about stuff and we assert it, we're trying to say the true or the false. That is true. That is false. Get out of here with your like trying to get close. The other people are going to be like, we're trying, but you know, we might fuck up sometimes. Yeah. Ludovico treatment was from A Clockwork Orange. Oh, yeah, play. So a play theory of truth. Yeah, you want to know why, Luminance? I do game theoretic semantics. Like game theory. The existence of a winning strategy in a game is how I define truth in a game of logic. That's why it exists for me. I've heard that. Like, there is a ludic theory of... It's a game theory. I've heard it referenced in game theory. So if you're going to do a semantics of logic that like is like I move, then you move, then like someone else moves, there is actually a ludic theory of truth. Like, there is. But yes. I know some of this stuff. I couldn't remember it because no one calls it that, but like it has been called that before. And that's funny too, semiotics. Like, you know, I want to look this up. God damn. My fault. Not the computer's fault that time. Ludic truth. Ludic. Well, let's see if it shows up anything. Ivan! What's going on? Everything's broken today, Ivan, on my side. Ludic truth game theory. How you doing? Thanks for the raid, man. Ludic theory of truth proposed by philosopher Diane Elam changes the notion of absolute truth. Instead, views truth as a dynamic game-like process. Scrolling. Game-like process influenced by human interactions and the rules of languages and logic. Truth emerges from the interplay of claims, arguments, and counter-arguments, making it fluid and open into interpretation. Yes. Yeah, so yeah. Ivan, what's going on? Yeah, see, meaningful gameplay. Here it is. Now it decides it's going to start doing alerts? Thank you for the raid. Yeah.
Ooh, tomb raid.
Haha, and I even got my TTS going. Yeah, so you are making a joke. This is not a joke. The ludic framework theory of meaningful gameplay. Like, yeah. What's going on, Ivan? How was the rest of your stream? We were jumping into a paper from Tindera's suggestion. I really set a cat among the pigeons today. Oh, really? You were beating up on our poor friend over at Ask a Philosopher. Why were you beating up on our poor man Aripsa? What Dan do to you? You're beating up on our poor guy, and he's not even there to respond. Oh man. You've researched more and found deeper symbology to be revealed later. Oh yeah, yes I am. Hey, what's up, Globus? How you doing? Can I post a link to that last one? I mean, this thing. You were advancing fascism. You may be. Yeah, I mean, you're kind of being the thought police a little bit, right? What's up, Frank? He contradicted the most central belief of neo-Ivanism. Yeah, I know. Okay. So, no, but like, this is why, I was like, you're joking, but I'm like, wait a sec, I've heard this before. This is actually not as crazy as you think. So yeah, what's up, Owen Hunter? How you doing? Yeah. OBS has been wonky. Yeah, well, when I turned everything on, I thought everything was working. My mic wasn't working, and now it's like, who the hell knows what's going on? I had some updates, and it was funny. I was saying this earlier. I had some updates. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to update right before stream today. I'm just going to have an easy stream day. Everything broke. So, yeah. So it percolated down from the old history luminance. I got ya. Yeah, so why were you stirring the pot, Ivan? What were you stirring it about? Like, come on. But yeah. So that's all right. If you have to go, you have to go too. Yeah. Now I'm afraid to update. Yeah, thanks for the yeah. Oh, and what was fun, I was saying this earlier. I don't know if did anyone hear me? I forget already. But like having luminance in one ear and Ivan in the other ear, trying to do Heidegger and like analytic rationality does not work. Like you have to do one or the other. They do not mix. Like it just doesn't. It's like, yeah, I'm trying. Systemax it's the job of intelligent people with disagreements to use words to persuade each other through Socratic combat. Yes, exactly. It's a discipline and we are Jedi Knights. Something. I don't. You've all, or most of you have been here before. If you don't know me, thanks for the raid. Hi, I'm Noger, No Gray, whatever. My name's Noah. I read philosophy, discuss it. We try to see if there's anything of worth in like the philosophy stuff getting published. These are all published papers. A lot of times it's just crap. A lot of times it is. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not. But yeah. Yeah. So. It is something. I don't know if we're Jedi Knights. We're like, something or other. At least maybe you are. I'm not. So what are we doing? Okay, we're reading this article at the moment. Like my brain's completely fried. Trying to do tech support on stream is hard. But we're reading this paper. The idea is that either when we say things, we're trying to say true things, or the idea is when we say things, we're trying to get ourselves to the truth. We may not be saying the truth right now. So it's kind of an error theory. You might be saying the truth, or you might be, close, but that's the idea. So this is Turi's argument against the truth aim view. In Marsili, I introduced a puzzle about assertion and truth that aimed to show that truth aim accounts are better suited to explain our linguistic behavior and our intuitions about assertability. The puzzle emerges from the apparent tension between two sets of observations that seem intuitively correct. Improper falsity. Quote, intuition. False assertions are improper in virtue of their being false. Behavior. False assertions are reproachable in virtue of their being false. So like if I say my hand is a fist, my hand's not a fist. It's like, okay, well, why are you yelling at me? Well, you're saying something that's false. Viper says, I've been wondering if some terminology and concepts are best kept to the intellectual world of academia because they mess things up when released on the largely emotional world of normal human interaction. Oh, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Some things should never have gotten out of academia, and they've just caused havoc when they've been out there. It's like, really. What's up, MDD? Seems like you're using a veil of rationality to mask our sublimation of the desire for blood sport, and the way we have come to satiate that by debating philosophy. One of the reasons I started streaming was to tire myself out because I had nothing to do when the pandemic started, and I would just basically read philosophy on Twitch until I was exhausted, and then I wouldn't be so tired, and that I wouldn't have to be so, I could go to bed at night and be tired. So yes, blood sport, in some sense, I would just drain myself. That's what I was doing. I was reading 2 papers in the morning and 2 papers at night. Yeah. Wordfare is warfare by gentler means. Yeah, sometimes. Not always. Like, pen is mightier than the sword. And nowadays, you can, like, erase someone's entire, savings with, like, you fuck up their banking or whatever. It happens. Lorefare. That's interesting. Should upgrade the humans. Good luck with that, Ivan. Okay, so we've got improper falsity, where it's saying you're wrong because you're saying false things. Permissible falsity. In the intuition, inadvertently false, unlucky assertions are permissible. Behavior, we do not reproach unlucky asserters. Oh, okay, I see where they're going with this. Language is the first weapon deployed in every battle. I would think that the language is deployed even before the battles, like, become battles. So it might even be, like, yeah, I mean, by the time we're at blows, it's already too late, but yeah. Oh, that's from Arrival. Keep your bong in your pants. Arrival 2016. Aha, I see. Alright. So at first blush, factive accounts are in a good position to explain improper falsity since they hold that false assertions are impermissible, but seem incompatible with permissible falsity since they maintain that all false assertions violate a norm. By contrast, any account that posits a non-factive rule for assertion, that is any account according to which assertion is subject to a rule that does not require truth, such as belief rule or the justification rule, will be consistent with permissible falsity, but will alone lack the resource to explain what is wrong about false assertions. Yeah, so if you're saying, look, you're trying to get things right, and you say something wrong, well, that's okay as long as you're under this sort of permissible, like you were trying. But then what is wrong with a false assertion? Yeah. Okay, so, quote, language is the foundation of civilization. It is the glue that holds a people together. It is the first weapon drawn in a conflict. Okay, from the movie Arrival. Okay. Yeah, I like that film too a lot. This is why everyone in the whole world should speak English? Of course. Yes. Moreover, you should speak English like I speak. Like my New Yorkese. Yeah, you should speak that one. Alright, so what are we talking about? Are we trying to get to the truth? Or are we just trying to, or are we just trying... No, are we supposed to say true things, or are we trying to get at the truth? That's all. That's the whole question here. Yeah. By teaching them rationality. Yeah. Yeah, so, well, Ivan wants to be thought police, and, pre-roll ads are back. Screw you, pre-roll ads. So, yeah, Ivan wants to be a thought police, and he's a fascist. It's alright. We understand. Conveniently, the truth aim account can accommodate both sets of data, faring better than both competitors. Unlike factive accounts, the truth aim account is compatible with permissible falsity. If truth is the aim rather than the rule of assertion, false assertions are incorrect but not impermissible. But unlike non-factive views, the truth aim hypothesis can also explain improper falsity. If truth is the aim of assertion, false assertion missed the target and as such are defective and criticizable. Yeah, well, they're still missing what is good about saying the truth. When the goal is to say the truth, then you are aiming at the truth also. But like, they have to say what's also good. If you're just aiming at it, then is there any guarantee that you're getting there and what's so good about the truth? Okay, so far only Turi has challenged this argument for the truth aim accounts. Turi's attack relies on three main argumentative steps. First, Turi argues that A, improper falsity and permissible falsity are not actually inconsistent, so that there is no puzzle to resolve, and no positive case for the truth aim account can be derived from them. Second, he argues that B, factive accounts are actually able to explain both sets of data. This leads him to the conclusion C, once we consider all the evidence available, factive accounts fare much better than his truth aim views. Truth is the rule rather than the aim of assertion. Let's consider each argumentative step in turn. Okay, so if you want the truth, then that should be a rule, and anything that's getting away from that, like you're saying, well, we're aiming at the truth, is just a watered down theory. That's kind of what I feel is coming at this point. Yeah. Missing the mark. It is not hard to show that Turi's objection A misses the mark in that it does not really undermine the positive case for the truth aim accounts of assertion. To see why, let's break it down to three simpler claims. Oh yeah, sorry, what's it called? Because I busted stream earlier, I didn't reset the, links. So there we go. And no, I did reset. It's just the, yeah, sorry. The bot is just like really weird today. Like everything's busted. I don't know what's going on. Busted stream earlier? Yeah. Thanks, Cinemax. I needed that laugh. Yeah, see the, it's just not working. Yeah. Interesting. Is everything just busted here? Let's see. Oh yeah, the bot's disconnected. Okay, that's what's happened. I collect I collect mold spores and fungus. Yes, we've got, yeah, our, the bot's dead. What is going on today? Let's just see. Hey, okay, now I got my bot back a little bit. It's true, this man has no penis, yeah. I love Ghostbusters. I know it's not aged as well as one might hope, but some of it still really holds up. But yeah, it's like, it's so New York from back in the day that it's like, I can never like be unhappy with it. Okay, missing the mark. Let's see. It's not hard to show that Turi's objection A misses the mark in that it does not really undermine the positive case for truth aim accounts of assertion. To see why, let us break down into three simpler claims. A here indicates the alleged flaw in the argument A prime to A double prime, which we can infer from it. So A, the two sets of linguistic data are not actually inconsistent. A prime, therefore there is no puzzle to solve. A double prime, therefore the argument for truth aim accounts fails. Well, I guess obviously, if you think they're the same, then maybe both fail, but that's interesting. All right. The first observation A is surely correct, but it is not actually in tension with the argument for truth aim accounts. Quite the contrary, we must accept A for the argument to work, since the truth aim account is meant to solve the puzzle by accommodating both sets of data, permissible falsity and improper falsity. The pair cannot be inconsistent. In fact, I myself accept A. Since Marsili 2018, I argue that on the truth aim account, a false assertion can both be improper, qua failure to meet the aim, and permissible since it is not by definition in violation of a norm as factive accounts would have it. I mean, the aim, but what's wrong with saying false things? Is the aim is to only say true things, but you can fuck that up. But what's so see, I still worry what is good about saying true things if that's not the underlying rule. Okay. Once this is clear, we can both reject both A prime and A double prime. We can reject A prime that there is no puzzle to solve because a puzzle to resolve still remains. Even if impermissible falsity and improper falsity are not inconsistent, we still need to find an account that is able to accommodate both. And it is not obvious that a rule-based account, be it factive or not, can do it. I can't even think today. This is the puzzle that the truth aim account purports to solve. We can also reject A double prime that the argument for truth aim account fails, since at no point the argument for the truth aim account relies on the assumption that the two sets of linguistic data are inconsistent. This conclusion is unwarranted. Turi's response misses the mark. It concentrates all its energies on demonstrating that A is true, on the mistaken assumption that will help establish A double prime. Yeah, so look, is saying, look, we explain all the data. You've strawmanned us. That's fair. It's a strawman argument. It is worth noting that there is a further reason why Turi's objection fails. There is a second argument that purports to support the idea that truth is the aim, rather than the rule of assertion, and that is left untouched by Turi's critique. To fully appreciate what we would need to successfully undermine the existing case in favor of truth aim accounts, let's consider it briefly. The claim is that if one accepts the following test, one has a reason to think that truth is the aim rather than the rule of assertion. Test for the rule-aim distinction. Quote, if any given action A within a practice P for any given condition C applying to A for any competent and careful agent S, alright, so somebody's doing something. The truth of T is prima facie evidence that C is the aim of A and P, whereas the falsity of T is prima facie the evidence that C is the rule of A and P. So T is S can typically try but fail to meet C. So the condition is that you are trying to do something and you can fail to meet it. Okay, they're going to have to explain this. Why should we accept the test? Simplifying, the idea is that rules are typically fair in the very minimal sense that typically they do not punish good-willing agents who do their best to follow them. Aims, by contrast, do not tend to be designed so as to ensure that the good-willing agents who intend to achieve them will achieve them. Quite the opposite. Aims are often elusive by design. A game that one cannot play without winning would not be a very interesting game because the aim of winning would be too easy to achieve. If the test or something in its ballpark is valid, it would seem to provide evidence in favor of the truth aim account. Since we often try but fail to assert the truth T is satisfied, try but fail to assert the truth, T is satisfied by assertions. The test supports the hypothesis that truth is the aim of assertion rather than its rule. Alright, so one thing just to keep in mind here. Assertion is what's at stake. Why do you get to claim things? You get to claim things because they say it's the aim of assertion is to say things that you think are true. You're aiming to say things that are true. Really? Is that what you're doing when you make statements? You're trying to do the truth? Really? Think about that. When you claim things, like here is a hand. Was I trying to actually state something that was true, or was I trying to do something, on stream? What was my actual goal there? So the idea that when I say here is my hand, was I following a rule that was true, or was it the aim of what I was doing to state the truth? I can tell you that the aim of what I was doing right there had nothing to do with the truth. Maybe I was following a rule in the background by saying something true, but I could have easily said something false. Like I could say, this is my foot. Now, again, I was doing something on stream, and I did something on stream by saying something false. But again, that was not my aim. My aim was to say something on stream, not to say something true or false. I was making a demonstration. So you have to consider, is actually asserting things have anything to do at all with the truth, and why would we think that is the aim of our assertions? We assert things, sure, sometimes to say that to tell the people what is the case. Like if you ask me what the weather is tomorrow and I tell you what I think the weather is tomorrow, I hope I'm going to say something that's true, but like within reason. Like I'm saying what the best weather report is. But that's not always what we're doing. This is for people who care. This is a Wittgensteinian criticism. What are we doing? This is we're playing a language game here. There's behaviors that are going on. Like, we don't always say the truth or the falsity, but we make some sort of behavior that is going on stream or like in an interaction. There's a game there. We were doing a little game speak earlier. So keep that in mind here, that maybe both of these people have no idea that truth is a rule or versus an aim. Maybe none of this makes any sense. Okay. Whether the test is valid may indeed be debated. But the point here is that in order to effectively undermine the positive case for truth aim accounts, one would need to address the test. There is therefore a second respect in which Turi's attack to truth aim accounts misses the mark. It concentrates all its efforts in establishing A, when A is actually compatible with the truth aim account, and it turns instead a blind eye to the test, which provides independent evidence in favor of the view. In short, both the pillars that support truth aim accounts are left unscathed by Turi's attack. It's fair enough. Like, no one gets very angry with you if I give you the weather report and like it turns out to be wrong, and you'd be like, why did you tell me what the weather was going to be like this? And I said, look, if you look at what everyone said yesterday, it was going to be nice. I told you what everyone was saying. I gave you the best data available. Don't be angry with me. You're killing the messenger. Vipers asserted, I have a big penis to the young lady. He did not, in fact, have a big penis. But you see, that's a great example. Did it work in the way you intended it to work? Did she sleep with you? Was she reviled? Like, what happened there? Like, that is quite often, you see, that you make a joke. The point isn't the truth or falsity of the joke. It's that, did the person laugh? Why are you asserting anything? And so this is one of the things that annoys me about, epistemology and a lot of these discussions in this area, is that, yes, they are correct in their very narrow area. When you're talking about, like, facts, you want to be asserting facts. Like the truth, we're trying to get at the truth, blah, blah, blah. This is going back to our earlier discussion. How is the world? We're trying to figure out how the world is. And if you're not talking about how the world is, you're not talking about, like, what we think is important right now. Yeah, don't kill the messenger. Yeah, actually it's a sound. But yeah, so how is the world? Well, in that case, you aren't trying to tell people how the world is, and you can get it wrong. And so it seems like this aiming at getting how the world is, right in some sense. But again, the rule that you should be telling how the world is to the best of your ability, it's like, well, isn't that the whole point of, like, the rule also? It's that maybe these views are really, really close. I'm just thinking the aim at is kind of like error bars on the the factive account, where you're just trying to say facts all the time. It's like, yeah, I don't know if, like, I'm putting these, like, yes, there's a disagreement here, but, like, they're already in this one camp, and I'm like, oh, I'm over here. All right. Anywho, weighing the evidence. Undermining the truth aim view need not rely on undermining one or more positive arguments for it. An alternative, more general approach is to prove that factive accounts are preferable because they have overall more explanatory power than truth aim views. The second half of Turi's paper takes this approach. It presents some reasons to prefer factive accounts to truth aim accounts, namely points B and C mentioned earlier, which I report here. B. Factive accounts can explain both impermissible falsity and proper falsity. And C. Factive accounts can explain the rest of the available data better than truth aim accounts. Whether B is true and whether a genuinely factive account can accommodate both sets of data is currently a matter of dispute, and several authors have argued against it. All right, so this person just appeals to authority. I mean, this is literally just appeal to authority. We've got line after line of people that they purport to say disagrees with this. I don't know if that's the case. I want to go read the... Yeah, so they have a footnote. That's all it is. Anne, how you been? I haven't seen you around as much. I hope you're getting a lot of work done, getting paid. What's going on, Anne? Oh, shout out, Anne. What's up, Anne? Hope you've been well. Yeah, anyone who doesn't know, Anne's a sociologist, does lots of stuff online, so... yeah, working hard this week. How's everyone? I've been beating myself up. Why should I do that? I'm being silly. I gotta, I feel like the Joker in Batman. I'm like, why so serious? Like, I gotta calm down. But other than that, I'm okay. Yeah, I've been working on finishing up a paper. I added a section, and a whole lot of work had to go into that section. It was a big section, so it's like, yeah, exactly. Calm down. Ah. It's like, unfortunately, yelling "calm down" at people is not particularly effective. Okay, but how you been? Other than that, like, yeah, getting the work done. That's good. Yeah, calm the fuck down. Exactly. Just calm the fuck down. Yeah, working hard or hardly working. All right, so we're discussing what is the point of asserting things. When you say something that is either true or false, are you following the rule that you should only be saying true stuff, or are you just trying to aim at the trying to get things right? I think both of these are very silly. Of course, there's a place for talking about the truth, but I think it's not very silly. They're just limited. That's all. Do it now. Yeah. So here we go. All right, so more importantly, even if we concede B for argument's sake, B does not yet speak in favor of factive accounts over truth aim accounts. If both views can explain the data, the two accounts are on par for this respect. Don't beat yourself up. You should only ever beat up a small part of yourself. Exactly. Don't be cringe. It's like, yeah, don't be cringe also. It's like, yeah, that doesn't work either. You can't tell people not to be cringe. That's all I can do is just like do what I can. Not cringe, just tired, yeah. Finally, since only the truth aim theory passes for the test for the rule aim distinction, the evidence would still weigh in favor of the truth aim account. In short, even if B were true, which is forcefully disputed in the literature, it would still not help us establish alone that factive accounts are preferable to truth aim accounts. All right, so this person's just saying, yeah, well, we can do just as much as you do, and we still have things in our favor. All right, there are two further arguments in support of C. Let's consider them in turn. The first is that endorsing factive accounts doesn't require us to accept ancillary hypotheses about the aim of assertion, which is an advantage because every ancillary hypothesis or assumption with the probability less than 1 automatically decreases the probability that one's view as a whole is correct. Yeah, this is what I was saying. If you're saying you're aiming at the truth, that means you are allowing some like error to come into your theory. And why would you want to do that? You just want to get the truth, not have like 90% truth. It's like, that seems silly. Okay. Author says, but this would be for the pot to call the kettle black. Both factive accounts and truth aim accounts make assumptions about a putative link between truth and assertion. The former account assumes that truth is the rule of assertion, the latter that truth is the aim of assertion. It is not clear whether we should classify these claims as ancillary assumptions rather than conclusions established with arguments, but even if we do, the fact remains that the assumptions are postulated in equal number by each view. I don't know if that's true. If you are saying something is an aim, then you say, well, why are you aiming at that thing? If you're saying something is the rule, that's the end. There is no more. The rule is the rule. If you're aiming at something, then it's like there's a goal. It's like that's the prize. That's what you're trying to go get. But then you have to say, well, why is that the prize? Well, then you could say, well, that's the rule. That's the end. That's the end of discussion. So that's kind of the distinction in my head here, is that the force of saying that, look, if you're just aiming for something, well, it's like, why are you aiming for that versus something else? If you're saying that is the law, that's the law, well, then that's just the way things are. So I'm not sure that this actually works, but of course there's ways to, like, block that sort of argumentation. Anywho, okay, of course we could dispute the grounds on which each assumption is introduced, but Turi's claim here is that the factive accounts avoid ancillary assumptions and are by definition more likely to be true. This stronger claim is simply indefensible. It's the law of the West, yeah. Well, this paper is interesting. I think it's all kind of a wash in the end. I don't know if there's really a whole lot of difference between the positions. Maybe it's just kind of semantic. What one group means by a rule, the other means by an aim. It's like, but you can see the argumentation here. It's like one saying, hey, look, you have to like explain yourself. And the other one says, no, I don't have to explain myself. It's seemingly like, it's interesting stuff, actually. The argumentation's is interesting, but it's, I don't know if there's a substantive difference here. Okay. The second argument in support of C is that factive accounts cohere with a wide and increasing range of additional evidence, whereas Marsili's discussion proceeds by setting aside all of the evidence against the truth aim account. But while there is indeed evidence that supports factive accounts, an equally impressive case has been built against them, and more specifically against the knowledge rule and the truth rule. It is far from clear that a simple appeal to the literature is sufficient to establish that factive accounts enjoy some explanatory advantage in this sense. Let me remind the author of what they did right up here. You can't claim right up here that there's a big old disagreement to say that your opponent is wrong, and then right down here say that, like, you know, we're just not gonna like worry about the literature. So this is one of these yeah, maybe this was like a whole this is what I'm saying. A lot of goings on in this paper I'm not exactly with. Furthermore, it seems that proponents of factive accounts would also have to proceed by setting aside some relevant evidence. The test for the rule aim distinction, which was designed exactly to solve the disagreement, is glaringly omitted from Turia's discussion, lacking a refutation of the test, and established that there is no consensus in the literature on whether the norm of assertion is factive. C remains a difficult claim to defend. Yeah, of course. It's like everyone's sticking to their guns here. It's like, that's what we're doing. It's like your arguments are bad, my arguments are good. Sounds like the other people are arguing just the same, and everyone's arguing cross each other. It is therefore unclear that Turi and more generally proponents of factive accounts currently has a strong case for C. To be sure, it could still be pointed out that given widespread disagreement about the norms of assertion, it would too be optimistic to think that the test, or any evidence brought up in favor of the truth aim hypothesis, settles the debate in favor of truth aim accounts. But this is not something that defenders of truth aim accounts need to be committed to. They may take a weaker stance towards the available evidence and maintain more modestly that truth aim accounts stands in a privileged position to explain a diverse range of data, including all the stuff that they were talking about above. So interpreted, the view that truth is the aim of assertion remains unchallenged by Turia's criticisms. Conclusion. We have seen that the hypothesis that truth is the aim rather than the rule of assertion is supported by solid arguments, which are left unscathed by recent attempts to undermine them. This does not mean, however, that the debate is settled once and for all in favor of truth aim accounts. More modestly, the contention is that the truth aim accounts are able to accommodate a wide range of linguistic data, including some that do not sit well with the rival view that assertion is subject to a factive norm. Because of this, the view that truth is the aim of assertion represents a promising and explanatorily powerful hypothesis, which rivals other prominent accounts in plausibility, including the popular knowledge rule of assertion. Would my ideal job be an editor of a philosophy journal? How much does that pay, Vipers? The Journal of New York Pizza and Philosophy. I would do that. How much do these things pay? In fact, I just saw that one of the big editors at Oxford University Press is resigning. Or, I mean, he's like leaving the job after 30 years. I don't know, like, what happened, but like probably just retiring. Sponsored by Domino's. The way things happen, Vipers, is you get to be a prominent person in the field, and then you were asked to be an editor of a journal because you were like, people think you're smart. And so it's like, that's what it is. The issue is that a lot of the work is like unpaid. You're just doing philosophy work because like that's the thing to do. It's like supporting the profession. And so the answer is no. I'm already a editor of the philosophy journal. I'm the editor of my meta journal where I read this stuff. I just have to put the damn website together, which I think I'm gonna do like soon. But like I said, I had a weird week, so like things are a little unsettled. But yeah. Okay, let's give this a review. This was an okay paper, I guess. But let me know. So as you can see, if anyone here is in chat, please use the emotes. Braindance was, did this have fun ideas? Did you think it was fun to think about the aim of assertion being aiming towards the truth, or that you should, you know, be speaking the truth because it's a rule? Was it grapes because did it make big claims that shriveled up? Do you think like this paper, you know, made some claims and just couldn't follow through? Was it navel-gazing only for academics, that's nog-navel, or Ouroboros for deep or ancient ideas, the scream for existential or artistic drama, the turd, nog-turd for all style, no substance, still poop underneath, and nog-knife for slicing and dicing arguments? You have a CMS on your to-do list. I can put it together if you want. No, like I'm just gonna use a static website generator. It'll be no big deal. Like, it's literally I have a script that I'm putting together just to build the site. Every time I make a new page, I'll just like hit a button, it'll push it. So yeah. So thank you to Darius. You gave me a yeah and a brain dance. Cool. Ivan says yeah and a knife, though I'm not 100% sure what the conclusion would entail, so maybe a navel gazing. Yeah, that's the thing. The conclusion entails thinking that when we make assertions about the world, we are not saying things that are true or false. We're aiming at talking about the true or the false. So there's just an error theory on, like, you're trying to get to the truth. You don't actually know if you are, and if you don't say the truth, you haven't fucked up if you were giving your best effort. That's all it is. And Dan says around to distract yourself. Well, you should be getting paid for that. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm looking at some of these people in the footnotes. Who is actually defending the belief of some of these other things here? Yeah. I mean, it's just nothing too crazy about this paper. It was a bit of a response paper. Nice little paper. And if you're in this area, maybe it means something to you. I'm going to give it a navel because you have to care about this stuff, which I think I said, not really my cup of tea. This is not my flavor here. Then I'm also going to say, I'm going to give it a vote yay. Because if you care about this, I thought this wasn't badly done. So it's like you're gonna get a yes, but it's a little navel gazing. Do you care about the distinction between saying, look, when you speak about the world, you should be saying the truth, say the truth, or when you speak about the world, you should at least be trying to say the truth. And me, I'm like, well, that's actually very limited amount of things, a very limited slice of what we're often doing. Quite often when we say stuff where, it's not about the truth. And so it's like, all of this just seems very narrow to me. So that's why I got the navel gazing. But it's fine. Like I said, a few little quibbles I had with the argumentation. Nothing too bad. It's like, this is an okay paper. It's okay.